So you tried to create a super Dalek, and he has turned on you. Was it not enough that with my help, your scientists had isolated the qualoblumin enzymes with which we stabilized the mutation, so it breeds true from one generation to the next?
It was you who instilled in us the importance of Dalek survival. How often have you said that we must survive? Must, at any cost. We sought to improve ourselves that we might best fulfill that imperative.
This Xenol, he is but one Dalek. How is it that he is able to defy you? Surely your legions can sweep aside any foe, even one of your own who has turned against you.
My legions are embroiled in a number of wars as the Empire expands, and Xenol is not alone. There was another experiment, before the Ancestral Project, Project Y. We were studying the possibility of transforming other life forms into Daleks, so that we might assimilate competing races rather than simply exterminating them. We decided to begin our experiments upon a race which was genetically compatible with the Daleks, so we grew clones from untainted Khaled DNA, and then, through controlled mutation and the use of chemicals and surgery, we reconstructed them as Daleks. The process caused the developing embryos considerable pain and mental trauma. It was something our science Daleks did not give a lot of thought to at the time. Of the 10 clones we created for Project Y, only 3 survived the full conversion process. One of them, Ypret, never achieved consciousness. The stress of the process had destroyed his mind, leaving him in a vegetative state. We had no choice but to exterminate him. Another, Ypret, showed great promise. His mind was exceptional, and we had high hopes that he might become a great scientist. His memories were haunted, though, by the agonies of his creation, and there was nothing we could do to prevent them overwhelming him. He still lives, but is hopelessly insane. His raving is awful to hear. The third clone, Ytrel, somehow achieved a balance, divorcing himself from the trauma of his creation, distancing himself from the painful reality. He is without a doubt one of the greatest minds of our race, a genius without equal and yet unstable in the extreme, erratic and uncontrollable. He is Xenos' advisor. It is likely that he encouraged Xenos' rebellion, perhaps even initiated it.
You say the clones of Project Y were grown from unmutated Khaled DNA. I had thought there was only one source of such remaining.
You are correct. The Y stands for Yarvelin. Ytrel and the others were grown from cells taken from you, Yarvelin Davros. That is why I have awoken you. Only your genius can hope to match that of the renegade Ytrel.
It seems to me that you sought to do more than just develop a method for creating Daleks artificially. I suspect you are also attempting to create a new Davros. Is that not so?
I will not deny it. You are the Daleks' greatest treasure. Without you, we would probably still be ragged mutos, scrabbling in the ashes of the Dal plane, if not simply extinct. The koala bloom enzymes, the travel machines, the gravity lens. Without you, we would have none of these things. 5 centuries ago, it seemed Lilibeth would conquer Skaro and the Daleks would become vassals of the Gorabundan Empire. We woke Davros, and now Lilibeth are no more, and Gorabunda is but a minor region of the great Dalek Empire. But you are not immortal. You are ancient, even by Dalek standards. You were already an old man in the days of the Genesis War. Without the null entropy chamber, we would have lost you a long time ago. Already we have replaced over 60% of your body. You are more machine now than man, but you cannot cheat death forever.
Ah, Emperor, there you are. I have been looking for you everywhere.
Everywhere except in my throne room, apparently. Could you not have simply come straight here when I called you?
Yes, I have sent it to be painted. I thought it would look good in magenta, but I really am very busy, you know.
I have no idea what you are talking about, Yatrell. I called you here to discuss the new heavy assault travel machine. I have reviewed the after-action report submitted by Sub-Commander Zolanzite and Section Leader Storm, and due to their favorable reviews, I have decided to give you the go-ahead to proceed to second stage prototype production.
I knew that you would, and so I have already completed the construction of the second stage prototypes. Section Leader Storm.
Emperor, I present the 37th Experimental Assault Group, operational codename The Onslaught. They are mainly Scarabred Daleks like myself. The Chief Science Dalek has provided them suitable names to supplement their identification codes. Blizzard, Cyclone, Monsoon, Tempest, and Drizzle.
Drizzle?
Ziragalin bred, so he already had a proper name.
The qualoblumin enzyme seems to be keeping the tissue degeneration in check, but I have increased the dosage to be safe. Overall, the radiation damage is beyond our ability to regenerate even with the enzyme. Davros is not in any immediate danger, but the combined effects of his great age and radiation poisoning are something we should take very seriously.
And what do you recommend to ensure his long-term survival?
My best suggestion would be to cut away all extraneous rubbish and just save his brain.
Carry out a feasibility study to determine if we can keep Davros alive as a disembodied brain. I want it complete within the next 5 days.
I obey.
A disembodied yet still living brain. What a fascinating concept. I will give the matter some thought myself.
And what's of the more immediate problem? What can we do about Yatrell and Xenol?
We must neutralize our external enemies so that we have forces free to eliminate the internal threat. Since we cannot do this by force of arms, we will resort to a thing previously unknown to the Daleks. Diplomacy.
Diplomacy? Is that some sort of prehistoric reptile?
No. It means rather than exterminating your enemies now, you lie to them instead, and then exterminate them later when they no longer expect it.
Course confirmed, velocity confirmed, asteroid is now in the correct orbital path to impact slabs.
Establish intership linkage and prepare to disengage gravity anchors.
All ships standing by to disengage gravity anchors in 6 rels. Disengage. All ships move clear and regroup. Surveyors report final confirmation.
Calculating final trajectory and velocity. Transmitting data to the flagship.
Trajectory and velocity confirmed. The asteroid will impact slab in 137 days from now.
Very well, the fleet will now proceed to the next asteroid on the list.
Brown, you are to begin planning a full-scale assault on Zarageddon, based on your knowledge of the fortress and its surroundings. Garen will provide you with copies of the information Spy Corps has gathered regarding the changes Xenol has made since you left the First Conquest Army. Garen, Galt, I have special missions for you. If an attack on Zarageddon is to succeed, we will need to employ a much larger assault force than we had previously thought. In order to assemble such a huge invasion force, we will have to withdraw units from some of the combat zones. But first, we must be sure those zones are secure. To do this, we will employ a radical new tactic devised by Davros, which will not only neutralize our enemies, but will also leave them vulnerable to renewed attack at some future date. Davros will now brief you on the new... Davros.
So, just how big was this qualoblumin fruit?
Davros will contact you later and teach you about diplomacy.
It is a kind of prehistoric reptile. There is a model of one in the Chamber of Knowledge.
Agreed. And in turn, you will withdraw your forces from Nugatron, Crustamon Galatrea, and Brasmonkey. Your presence on the moon of Kadunk will be reduced to a demi-hive. No, the agreement was that we would retain Angazar. The Daleks held that planet long before you even entered this sector. Its mines are ours. If it is metal ores you require, I am sure I can arrange a very generous discount.
Jallow does not. This has obviously all been a simple misunderstanding. Dalek forces will immediately cease hostilities and withdraw from the disputed region. Our Emperor offers his sincere apologies for the 7 worlds we have destroyed and the 61 billion glottopade life forms we have exterminated. We desire only peace with the Slithery.
Shallow does not misunderstand. No more misunderstand. Dalek Empire and Slithery Coalition will be love now. 2 sides enhanced together grow strong. Daleks, make your report. Intelligence.
The Supreme Daleks are returning to Skaro. Their negotiations appear to have been a complete success. SPIE Corps will continue monitoring the inferior races, but it seems they are willing to honor the treaties.
Excellent. We will begin to withdraw combat forces from the treaty zones as soon as we are sure the areas are secure. Fabrication.
The new fabrication lines are in operation ahead of schedule. All existing lines have been converted to produce the advanced model travel machines. In addition, we have finished design work on the special models suggested by Davros, and have begun to build the first prototypes.
Good. I will want to see the new machines as soon as you have a working model. Medical.
A 50% increase in the number of gestation pods, coupled with the accelerated growth process, has seen a 62% increase in Dalek production, with a reject rate of only 0.3%. All new Daleks are grown using Type 17 genetic codes, removing the worthless soft emotions and enhancing obedience to authority.
Then the fate of Xeno and his renegades is sealed. We will call such a force as can be spared from the frontiers and combined with a ruthless new generation of Dalek warriors. They will form the largest Dalek invasion force the galaxy has ever seen. Xeno will be swept away and there will be a single empire once more. And with our new weapons and a new breed of Dalek, we will be unstoppable. Those races that can be of use to us will be enslaved. All others will be exterminated, and the whole galaxy will belong to the Daleks.